Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Cactus Patch. I am your host, Cactus, and joining me is the ever so lovely Sapph. Sapph, how you doing today?
I am elated to be here. You and I have already started chatting, and we keep being like, hey, save it,
Yeah.
save it, save it, save it. So I'm really happy to be here. Thank you so much for having me, and good morning. It's 8 a.m. here on the West Coast in the Pacific Northwest. So if you're coming to us at the early morning, hey.
But so yeah, it's really early for you. It's about 11 a.m. for me on the East Coast. Um, let's get things started right off the bat. So, for those who maybe don't know who you are, give us a little bit of an intro. Tell us about you, Sapph.
About me, well. First of all, I'm that girl. No, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Um, gosh, where do you even want me to start? I was kind of just like someone that bought. I was just like everybody else that saw the Nintendo Direct when the original Splatoon got announced. I was like, holy cow, what is this game and how do I get into it?
Yeah.
And so I've been here since Splatoon 1. A lot of us have been here since Splatoon 1, kind of hiding in the shadows. Didn't really get involved until Splatoon 2. And um, I started streaming at the tail end of 2020, which was the tail end of Splatoon 2, I guess, if
Hmm.
you want to call it that.
Yeah.
Um, and met all these amazing people, and kind of just like piggybacked off of different streams, and then you meet friends of friends, friends of friends, and it kind of just goes on and on. Um, and then eventually started like I made my own tournament at one point. Shout out to the people out there that still remember Kensa Cup. You're the real ones.
Yes,
I
I
still
remember
get
playing
asked.
in that with Debbie. Yes. Oh my God, Kenza
I
Cup.
still get asked about that. I still get asked about that tournament like to today, and that happened so long ago. And I've really thought about bringing it back. I have.
You should.
I
Honestly, you so should. A throw like on an anniversary date, just have a Kenza throwback, and everyone has to be forced into Splatoon 2.
Well, right? I was like, I feel like people would do that. Like, I feel like
Hmm.
they'd go for that to go back to Splatoon 2, just for a time of refinement,
Yeah,
for simpler
absolutely.
times, where things didn't make sense, but gosh, they were clearer,
Yeah.
back then. And so, but anyways, yeah, shout out Kensa Cup, we love you. Um, and Kensa Cup was really fun. However, I did everything myself on that one. So
Hmm.
like I was commentating, I was running, I was broadcasting, I was like stream coordinating. It was really hard, and I feel like that was really like my first taste into what the broadcasting part of Splatoon was like.
Hmm.
And like TOing as well. So I was wearing so many different hats. But anyway, did my own tournament multiple times, had a great time with that. And then I feel like I got into comp around the same time as streaming as well, so I didn't really play comp for very long. And I mean, I'm washed at best. I have fun playing like at tournaments sometimes, and like playing at LAN is always really fun.
Yeah.
But otherwise, like I'm not committed to trying to be better because that's not for me. But the stuff behind the scenes is, I feel.
Yeah, so you
And
feel more in tune with being on the production end than the actual competing end.
yes, and it's kind of interesting because what's really cool about growing up and getting older is you get to actually circle back to the things you really enjoyed as a kid.
Yes.
And I've always loved video and broadcasting and like how all of that came together since I was a kid, and I dropped the hobby
Hmm.
because just because things happen, like you move through life, you do try different things, you're doing different things, and it's like it's like the interest never went away.
Yeah.
It always was there. It just I was not doing something. And so this once I started doing more with the production side of things and on the back end, I was like, "Oh my gosh, like this is filling that niche that I used to have when I was younger." So if you take away any advice from me, it's hey, that little voice in your head that is telling you to go and do that thing that you were doing when you were like 8, 9, 10, a
Yeah.
kid,
Yeah.
like go back and tap into that because
Listen,
it's so real, so real.
I still remember when the 3DS came out and allowed for video options. I think I have, if I find my original 3DS somewhere, little stupid recordings I made of myself doing like just literally anything in my room, in my backyard. It's just these little videos because I just was so drawn to it. And that was probably, yeah, when I was like 10, 11, 12, whenever the 3DS came out. Um,
Hmm.
and it's so funny thinking how like that little want I had when I was younger to just like be on the camera to some extent and just creating fun content or enjoyable content, and that's what I've been able to do like in the past 4 years, really, now that I think about it,
Hmm.
in the Splatoon universe and the Splatoon community. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy how just that little thing that was like, hey, that is fun. Hey, what if I give it another shot?
Yeah, what if I just try that again?
Yeah.
But like with something else, and then
The
yeah, I mean
actual,
it blossoms into
equipment.
this. Yeah, yeah, and then adult money,
Yeah,
it
yes, yeah,
blossoms into
biggest
this
one.
big beautiful thing, and you're like, oh my gosh, like where has this been? And
Yeah.
it's like the answer, it's inside of you. It's been inside of you the whole time. It was already there, in fact.
Yeah, I just had to find it again.
Yeah, exactly. Find your spark.
So you did say you played comp only for a little bit of time, which is
Only a
completely
little.
fair. What was your favorite event or tournament or whatever that you played in when you were really into comp for that short period of time?
Okay, listen. And if for the real ones, the ones that know out there know, from the Ink Up, every other Friday, we would play as a team called Rebels for Reba. Rebels for Reba
Revis
was a pickup
Reba.
team of
Okay.
me, Falco, Elusive Echo, sometimes IMAD, sometimes Nina, sometimes like we would pull different people in,
Yeah, yeah,
but for the
yeah.
most part, it was the same core four people. And it was so much fun because we would consistently enter and we would always make bracket and pretty much almost make podium every time,
Yeah.
whether we're in bronze, silver. We've gotten into gold bracket or gold once,
Mm-hmm.
I think, once or twice. And but like playing, like doing that consistently, I felt like was more fun than anything I've played like as an official team.
Yeah. No,
Which,
absolutely.
yeah, it was just like a pickup of us. And the best part was like we were all like 25 and older.
Yeah.
Like we were, so we like, hey, like we know where we're at. We know where
Yeah.
we're at in this game. We know where we're at, but we're just gonna do this for fun.
Yeah.
And we would still have so much fun. And we were like a crowd pleaser in the
Mm-hmm.
From the Ink Up every like scene. We
Yeah.
were
You
like
were
people
the
would
crowd
always
favorites.
recognize us. Yeah, it felt that way because we would get streamed often too. Um, so I don't know. For me, that was probably like my favorite memory for online. For online,
Yeah, yeah.
for LAN,
Mm-hmm.
would have to be LTC 24
Okay. So
because
last year's.
because we won a 3-2 on main stage, and
Oh,
it
that's
came down to the
awesome.
wire. Yeah, it came down to the wire, and it was really good. That was a really fun time. Also, a play on Rebels for Reba. We were Rebels in Kia because our friend Kia Denna joined our team, who was on Team Friendship. I think she's still on that team now. But yeah, good times.
Oh,
Also,
that's
LTC
awesome.
24, just good vibes all around. And you were
Yeah,
there.
I was there. Well, the final LTC. Who could forget the final LTC? I think wasn't that the major the yeah, I think that's when we pied Kurta in the face. Yeah.
Yes,
Yes.
yes, it was.
They had to track me down because I got stuck just like talking to people in the LAN room, and I had like four people chasing me like, "We're gonna pie Kurta! Get your butt outside!"
Yeah, right now. Get there right now.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I gotta know, what was your favorite weapon to play, or like what was your main? Like what was the Sav weapon?
So I feel like through and through, honestly, I've always been a shot player,
Okay.
a T-Tech or a shot player, because
Yeah.
that's what I was in Splatoon 1. I did start with the original Splat Roller in Splatoon 1.
Hmm.
Um, and then like humble beginnings, Splat Roller.
Yeah.
And then I played shot through the entirety of Splat 1's life. When I got into Splat 2, actually at the tail end of Splat 1, getting into Splat 2, I started playing Dynamo. Played Dynamo all the way through.
Hmm.
That'll be like the tried and true always.
Yeah.
Um I feel like in my heart of hearts, that's my my roots. But I've actually in the past, I guess, couple of years that I've played comp or just for fun or whatever, I've gone back to shot and T-Tech because I'm just
Yeah.
like that's what I know. And I also like I just don't feel like I have the mechanics to do the same things that I used to be able to do.
I totally
So
feel that one.
yeah, so I'm just kind of like, okay, like I'll go back to something that like always rang true to me. But the thing is, am I the best Slayer? No. Not by any means. Not by any means. If I had to like really, if we had to go by the book and I had to pick a definition for myself, like I would be, I think I'm a skirmisher.
Okay.
Like I'll come in and I'll initiate the fight and kind of like hang out, but I can't finish it. The
Yeah.
fight. Like
Yeah.
I need help with that. Like yeah, I'm gonna phone a friend for that one.
Yeah. It's
And
someone else's job.
yeah, and I can't forget my beloved Junior as well. I love being a support. Always try to take fights when I shouldn't,
hmm
and I'm okay with that. Like that's me. That's how I've been
Yeah.
for a while now.
I love the diversity in the weapon choices. From rollers to shooters, I feel like that's a very um wide range of roles that you're playing there. From like you
Got
said,
range.
skirmisher, support. Yeah, you got range with especially with Dynamo. I mean, I would have loved to witness the Dynamo Sapph era.
Oh, dude. Okay. Also, never forget the Jet Squelcher with Stingray.
Oh my god,
Her,
yes.
love her, miss her. I don't care what anyone says. Love her.
Oh
She deserves
man.
her flowers.
Yeah. Didn't get used nearly as much because all the chargers just took over with it.
Mm-hmm.
So you talked about a little bit of your experience in comp. Now let's talk about your experience in lands. What was the first land you ever attended?
I went to Riptide 2022
Okay.
after a really hard thing that happened in my personal life.
hmm
So it was interesting because like I was talking to Falco about it. He was telling me all about it. He was like, "Hey, lands are super fun. You should think about coming to this one. It's only gotten better. It's really cool." And this and that. And then obviously, you start talking to your friends and being like, "Hey, like what do you think about this? Can you make it financially? Can we make this work out?" And
hmm
so um we got a good group of us. We got a suite. The whole shebang at the
Yeah,
Kalahari, you know how it is.
absolutely.
Um, yeah, and like us getting to know each other, and like some of us had like it was meeting each other for the first time
Yeah.
also. So like it's like hey, like how it's like nice to meet you. We've been talking for like 3 years, kind of thing.
hmm
Um, but then once we started like going into the Splatoon room and like actually walking around and getting to be there, because I only went as a spectator this time.
Yeah.
I didn't go as but I did get to commentate for the first time
Oh,
there
nice.
as well on land with which it was with Devi, and it was really challenging because like I said I was going through it while I
hmm
was there.
Yeah.
So I was like really sad, really tired, but like excited and like trying to be present as I could be. And I remember that com block was like out of all of the commentary I've ever done at live events, that one was by far the hardest
hmm
just because of how I was feeling at the present moment, and I got really sick. I
Oh,
did
yeah.
not have
Okay.
COVID at Riptide. Did not have COVID. Did check. Did check. Thank you very much. I did just get like a kind of cold.
Yeah.
And so Devi, like I've told her this a few times, and but I'm like, you really saved my butt on this block. Like
Yeah.
you really carried us, because like I couldn't be there. I couldn't do it as good as I wanted to. And I remember I got so nervous because I
hmm
was like, would they even ask me back after that? Because like I was being,
Yeah.
I think, harder on myself than anything. Um, yeah, and trying to kind of talk myself like up of
Yeah.
being like, it's okay, stuff happens and this and that. And then lo and behold, like I've been really fortunate and lucky to commentate at almost every other major that I've been to, with like LTC and Riptide flip-flopping those two as they happened since then. So I was like, okay, like even though like that wasn't my best, I can still have confidence that I can still be selected to do more and to do it again. And then when LTC 23 came around, I commentated with Toma. Love you, Toma. And that was like one of the best blocks live I've ever done. And it was the first time Toma had ever been on LAN. And so that was like incredible. So, it's just like also watching the change between like being in a darker period in my life and then going into a way better period of my life,
Mm-hmm.
and how the difference in my commentary that made as
Yeah.
well, and like how into it I was, also made a huge difference for me. But yeah, to circle back to your question, Riptide 2022 was my first LAN. And it was the first time I got to meet a lot of different people. And I think it's the first time I met you as well.
Yes.
Um, yeah.
I think that was my first I think it was my first LAN I went to. Yeah, that or it was Riptide. It was LTC or Riptide, I think that year. And I remember I wanted to be super memorable and special, so I had like got my own shirt made and printed, and I like pretty much everyone there I could find sign. And I also challenged myself to get photos with every person that was commentating. And I think that's how you and I originally first met because I found you and I was like, "Can we get a picture?" And I still remember to this day. It
Yeah.
was after we took the picture. I think that some of the friends you were with, they were like, "Oh my God, Sapph, you're so famous." And it's just like it warmed my heart knowing that um I just I feel like a lot of people just don't realize that sometimes there's a lot of joy in just being asked to get a picture taken with. And
Yes.
that's something that I've
Yes.
learned to love too as when I go to the more of these events and a lot of videos I've made that have helped so many people. Like I still attend like locals and majors and I still have at least one person tell me, "Hey, that video you made back in oh my God, 2021 about getting into comp, that's why I'm here today." Because I saw your video, it popped up on my feed, and that's why I'm
Yeah.
here. And I was
Yeah.
like, "Oh my goodness, like you're gonna make me melt. Like that is so heartwarming."
Right? And it's like you're inspiring people in like a very small way.
Yes, yeah.
But it's big to them, but in for you it's like, hey, like I just want to make stuff. At the end
Yeah.
of the day, I
Yeah.
just want to make stuff. And if that really rings true to you,
Hmm.
then so be it. Then like honestly, you've accomplished something,
Yeah.
trying to make some sort of movement in someone else. So that's awesome.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Uh, it's so good. And speaking of locals, so I did mention that. What was the first local you ever attended?
Okay, not my own.
Okay.
Sunset Surge.
Okay, yeah. Now you're Sunset Straight. Okay. Was that
Sunset
before or
Surge.
after Sea Battle came about?
That was after Sea Battle came about.
Okay.
So I just happened to get really lucky with
Mm-hmm.
that. So their 1 year anniversary was last July. It happened to line up on a weekend that I was available.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I feel very fortunate, you guys. Like I just please like don't take anything that happens to me for granted, okay? Um, my mother was a flight stewardess for 18 years.
Mm-hmm.
And so that allowed me to have a lot of flexibility when traveling domestically. And my cousin lives in downtown Phoenix, Arizona, so like not far from where the Sunset Surge venue was.
Okay.
And so it just kind of the stars kind of aligned for it. I was able to fly down for the weekend, which is great. And then OBT picked me up.
OBT's the
Um,
goat.
yeah, I know. OBT picked me up. It was so fun, and we drove over to the venue and got to hang out. And like that was the first time I had been to a different local that wasn't mine.
Mm-hmm.
And I gotta say, once again, like I feel like they do such a good job of like advertising it and everything, but you guys, Sunset Surge is a vibe. Sunset Surge is so cool. Pepe has an incredible thing going down in the desert. Cactus, I know you've mentioned you want to make it out to other lands. I
Yes,
hope you
I
can make
want
it to a
to.
West Coast land,
Oh,
but Sea Battle has to be first.
I'll
No
make it a
bias.
trip. I'm trying to plan it out now because this year is like heavily major focus. I think I'm actually gonna hit every major I think that's happening this year. So um Momocon, Gomel, Riptide. Is there any other? I think it's only the three this year, right?
I think that's 3.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, so I'll be hitting all those this year. Earlier last in the year I made my way over to Chai Shoals in Chicago to mark that off my list. So two down, obviously Big Dapple's close, so I it's easy for me to go, but six more to go, and I plan to next year do maybe like a really wild, fun, spontaneous I don't want to say road trip, but I guess flight trip to all the locals. But Sea Battle will be on my list first. I got you. Don't worry.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. 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 But but I feel okay. I don't want to be like we started it first, but I feel like I saw a lot of traction kind of after my trip to Sunset Surge
Mhm.
with some stuff because and honestly it's all my perspective, right? It's not
Yeah,
like
no,
this is
absolutely.
I am predicting this thing. Um but so Sunset Surge was incredible. Pepe was a wonderful host of the event and
Mhm.
getting to just hang out with the Arizona scene was really fun. Um Pepe and Shiny flew up for the next Sea Battle and the latest Sea Battle Royale. They flew up for two
Wow.
Sea Battles in a row. And I thought that was so cool because obviously, they figured out like lodging. They actually stayed with one of our fellow TOs, Satan. And so they could figure out their lodging and everything. They were like, absolutely, we're going to come back to Sea Battle.
Mhm.
Like it was, like not only was the event memorable for them, also they won and like did incredible, to be fair. To be fair, there's a
Yeah.
reason they're playing in LCS.
Yeah.
Um, but was nice because it's like no, like you guys have made such a memorable experience for us to want to come back, and I feel like that's what the whole thing is about, right?
Mhm.
That's what it all circles back to because our first Sea Battle was horrible. Like it was great, like vibes were pretty good.
Yeah.
We had a lot of attendees and we were really honestly surprised by how many people came out of the woodwork for it.
Mhm.
But like our audio issues were so bad and we kept kicking ourselves in the faces over it because we were like, gosh, like we didn't even finish on time. Like we
Yeah.
had to finish the tournament online.
Yeah. Gives me
And we did.
PTSD to Big Dapple.
Yeah, yeah. And it's just like, oh man, like we just had to finish it online, which we were just kind of, just kind of tail between our legs. Like, okay, we'll do better for the next one. It'll be okay. And then the next one, like we got different, I think we got different audio equipment. We
Mhm.
we replaced it with Astro mixers,
Oh,
and
okay.
everything went like flawlessly. We were on time. We were early for a lot of things before bracket stage started. And it just, I don't know, audio was just the bane of our existence, and we finally just decided to get a bunch of our own equipment. And now things have been running like very smoothly. And, we just had our 1 year anniversary event a couple weeks ago on April 12th. And that was incredible because again, like Pepe and Shiny showed up. So you had people coming from different scenes
Mhm.
to be there. We had the team that won Battle of BC that happened a couple weeks prior came down and like they're representing Sea Battle in the
Yeah.
LCS. And it's like, I don't know if that team would like, as far as I know, I don't know if that team would have came down from BC had we not been invited to go there and like hang out and provide equipment for Battle of BC to get to like have Splatoon there, which also shout out Ellie and Slet for that. They literally only had like a month from their approval date of getting Splatoon at Battle of BC, I think. Well, a month or so, month and some change maybe, but either way, they did not have a lot of time.
Yeah.
I feel like before they got their actual approval, and that event was amazing. And you're talking about majors, right? I'm telling you right now, 2026, if they are able to get Splatoon again at Battle of BC, that will be the West Coast major.
Yeah.
I'm telling you right now, it absolutely will be. The vibes were immaculate. The venue was huge.
Mhm.
Really great place to walk around. The weather was beautiful. In a really nice spot in downtown Vancouver.
Yeah.
Um, and so I was just kind of thinking like this could be really good if they can make it work again. And the West Coast, as everyone knows, is like starving for a major. We need one
Yeah.
so bad,
Especially after
so bad.
Genesis, like, did it bring it back? Because I remember going back to Genesis X where they first brought back Splatoon. I mean, like, even though it was a small crowd, it was still an amazing and incredible experience. And like ever since it hasn't returned, like I feel bad for y'all. Like y'all deserve another major. And like I think honestly, what's happening with MomoCon this year totally could happen for Battle of BC, 100%. Especially
Right,
like because like there's nothing
exactly.
else really competing for it. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And also I think MomoCon has a leg up because there's no LTC because
Yes. Yeah.
LTC would happen so close to it. But no, you're absolutely right. I was like Battle of BC could follow the same formula that MomoCon did. Like
Hmm.
MomoCon had 3 days of Splatoon last year but only had like 9 teams.
Yeah.
But like again, like big venue, big production space, like they had a big thing. So it's like, okay, do this again, have more time to advertise.
Hmm.
And then now it's like, okay, like you have a lot of traction. A lot of people are going to MomoCon this year.
Yes, yeah.
So it just, it needs that first initial year to just kind of be like, hey, like we could do something. It's just hard, like
Hmm.
Splatoon really does have to prove itself a lot
Yeah.
in comparison to other games, unfortunately.
No, yeah, I agree. I think it was an interview Popgun did with Siren on the Popcast where like the Siren had went over like kind of what it's like to have those talks when it comes to the org heads when it for these events and how trying to be like, hey, yeah, the numbers weren't that great, but like, hey, here's our track record with other events, big or small, and like the increase will follow. You just gotta give us a shot. And it's so hard to try to
Yes.
fight for it, but like once you're able to really kind of get up the upper hand with it and get them kind of interested on the idea, like all it takes is that fine, we'll run it again, let's do it. I like what you're presenting, I like what you're showing, like let's run it. Once you get those green flags, I mean, it's it's all up from there. It's really all up from there.
Right, right. But it's exactly that though. You just need the chance.
Yeah.
You need to be given the chance. And like that's what's really hard. It's like we
Getting
can't
that,
just
yeah.
be, yeah, we can't be like the smashers and just kind of be like, very minimal equipment to get Smash going.
Hmm.
Um it's a fan favorite for obvious reasons. I
Yeah.
mean, the main stage at Battle of BC was incredible, and I was like, man, could you imagine if like Splatoon was able to get that, because it was very like on par with LTC, but it was like better.
Hmm.
Like there was more lights, there was more like more screens too to show like other perspectives of like other things. Like I don't know, it was very cool. The production
Yeah.
value was very high, so it just, I don't know, it really makes you want for more. But to talk about Sea Battle again,
Hmm. Yes,
I
yes.
have been saying like over and over to different people, like especially Falco, because the LCS is in 2 days. This is his brainchild. He has been talking about wanting to create like something along the vein of like ESPN Sports Center.
Yeah.
How can we do, have an analyst desk and jump into different things? So this like multi-broadcast championship that is like a mix of our IRL LAN community
Hmm.
into our online community.
Yes.
It's a very good like gap that it's the bridge he's building.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah,
Um
absolutely.
and it's really awesome. So it's really awesome to watch this thing that started as an idea come together.
Hmm.
And so for the start of Sea Battle, we had like an IRL hangout that we coordinated. So it was Fusion, Ollie, Bran, and Bran from Blue Moon. Let
Hmm.
me just say that.
Yeah.
There's a name you probably haven't heard in a while. Bran from Blue Moon, Ollie, Satan, Fusion, and myself. We
Okay.
went out and like had lunch. We went out and had bubble tea in downtown Seattle. It was a really nice day, and we were just all kind of like, hey, like we all live here, right? Like do you guys want to hang out? Do you want to do something? And it was just that one reaching out,
Hmm.
I feel like initiated the snowball that is now Sea Battle.
Yeah.
Um because we were all just sitting there talking, we were just throwing out ideas like, like, oh man, I wish we had a local here. I wish we had something here. That would be so cool. And among other things, but and talking, and then it was a really nice day. And then fast forward to probably a few months after that, I get a DM from Fusion and from Satan, and they're
Hmm.
like, "Hey, we're starting a local here. It's going to be called Sea Battle. Do you want in?" And I was like, "Absolutely, I want in. Absolutely, 100,000%. I
Yeah.
thought you would never ask. I want in." And it turns out, so Fusion went to our venue. Our venue is GameWorks in downtown Seattle. That's kind of like our mainstay venue. For our 1 year anniversary, we decided to go to UW, which is the University of Washington. And it was a really great time. I can talk circles about all of that, but
Hmm.
I'll keep going with my story. But so GameWorks in downtown Seattle. And it turns out Fusion was going to ask about running an event there. They have an esports lounge, which is
Okay.
where our first event was. So there all of the equipment is there and everything. We just need basically TM1s, which is what we used our first time,
Hmm.
and then like docks and core, the whole nine,
Yeah.
the whole setup for the screens and everything. But otherwise, they had the PCs and the screens and all of that, so
Yeah.
we didn't have to worry about that. But when Fusion was there asking about an event, Tokapa also happened to be there asking about a Splatoon event and or
Wow.
already did. So it was very serendipitous,
Hmm.
the two of them meeting and asking about the exact same thing.
Yeah.
And then Tokapa got pulled into the mix. So now our main team is me, Satan, Fusion, and Tokapa. And we actually just went to a Mariners game together last night. So
Oh, I think
we
I
not
saw the
only
post
planned
on
Sea
Blue
Battle,
Sky. Yeah.
yeah, we not only planned Sea Battle, but we also tried to hang out with each other because we were like, what is an event that we could do to get Tokapa to hang out with us? Because Kenzie Fusion, or excuse me, Satan Fusion and I hang out a lot.
Hmm.
And we were like, okay, what can we do to get Tokapa to feel included to hang out with us? And we were like, Mariners game. Mariners game. We gotta go to a Mariners game.
Yeah.
Um, so and then now we have Sea Battle. We've ran now 5 times. We try to run our events at least once a quarter, so
Hmm.
like roughly 4 times a year. This time was 5 because of you add an additional one for the 1 year anniversary.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we're kind of lumping that into the first year of Sea Battle, but yeah, so we try to run at least 4 times a year, um, which I feel like is pretty standard,
Hmm.
and I think it gives enough time in between. Um, and yeah, it's nice because we all fill like different niches for each other, and honestly, I don't. We are such a good team. The
Hmm.
4 of us really balance each other out. It's nice because you have someone like me who's like I'm kind of like the head of broadcasting, so
Yeah.
I'm kind of the stream runner. I run the stream, and shout out actually last time at Sea Battle Royale we had Jarian show up,
Oh,
who is
nice.
one of the broadcasters for LCS, and we had Dynamite Central came as well. And so the 3 of us kind of ran stream together, and I'm really grateful for them because they both know so much more than I do. Just to be honest, they know so much more than I do, and they're both so very good at their craft. And just having both of them there help with the stream made it run so smoothly. And it allowed us to kind of have some wiggle room to do some fun stuff, like with interviews and like showing off the venue. And so I'm really grateful to the 2 of them. They help out a lot. And some on our staff too, Mint Zero,
Hmm.
couldn't make it this time unfortunately. But he is also like my left hand when it comes to the broadcasting team. But anyways, it's fun because Tokapa is really good at making brackets,
Hmm.
and he has this whole document of like bracket math and like how does this work? How does the timing of this work? Like da, da. And I'm like, hey, like I don't know anything about that.
Yeah.
Here's a really cool design for our new shirts.
Which please flex, by the way. The shirt looks incredible.
Thank you. Yeah, I for those of people that don't know, and you saw all the staff shirts of the TOs at whatever LAN event that you went to, other than H Town, I made those.
Oh,
Me
so
and
you
my
made
friend made
all of
those.
them, like for each
So
local?
I made this. Yeah, I made
Oh,
this.
wow.
And if I do a little spin, I don't know if I can do a spin here, but it has my name on the back. It has the schedule. It has my name
Oh,
on the back.
what?
It
That's
has the
so
schedule of
sick.
every LAN that happened. It has the showdown at the bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the names, and then in Splatoon, I won't lie, this is in Supreme font, but it looked the nicest.
Supreme font goes hard on a Splatoon shirt.
Yeah, you wouldn't know. You wouldn't
Yeah,
know unless I
no.
told you,
Yeah.
but yeah,
Wow.
yeah, and it was really fun. It was just me and my friend Aiden in his garage with one shirt press and a bunch of vinyl and a vinyl cutter.
Yeah. Oh
And
my
I
gosh.
yeah, we made these ones, and we also made Sea Battle shirts for Sea Battle 2,
Okay.
and they got a lot of traction. I don't want to go get up and get it right now,
It's
but
okay,
it
that's
was
fine, yeah.
after yeah, once LCS was announced and we had all these lands, I was like, "Oh my god, Aiden, what do you think of this crazy idea that we make all these shirts for the TOs
Yeah.
for this event?" And he was like, "Oh yeah," like he was like, "I'm down. That sounds like fun." Oh my gosh, Cactus, I won't lie to you. I probably sank at least 50 hours into these shirts.
Oh my gosh.
At least 50, maybe a little bit more. just trying to figure out the flow of like getting the vinyl cut, because like
Yeah.
sometimes when you cut it, it gets messed up and
Hmm.
you have to start over, and like having to weed all the material out, place everything. So like this is all different layers.
Okay.
So they're like, it's not like one press. Like
Hmm.
this is all layers stacked on top of each other,
Yeah.
and
Wow.
then put together. And the other ones are like that as well. So it's like it's a tedious process. It was really fun, don't get me wrong. Like we were having a blast the whole time, even
Yeah.
though like there were days where we would be going from 12 p.m. to like past 12 a.m.
Yeah.
And we've only made like 6 shirts and it took 12 hours. Like,
Yeah. Oh
but
my
we were having
gosh.
a lot of fun doing it. So that I don't know, that was just kind of like a fun pet project for me for the whole
Hmm.
thing. But it's exactly the whole thing. Like you get so deep into what you're doing and what you like that you just start like bouncing all these different ideas off, and then you have really cool friends that'll help you out with stuff and want to see your vision come to life, and then lo and behold, you have a staff shirt now,
Yeah,
like
now
all
you
these
have a
different
Sapph
staff.
shirt.
Yeah, all these different staff members for their different lands, respective lands, now have a shirt that they can like not only remember it by, but like you can wear it at your next event.
Yeah.
Um,
It reminds me
yeah,
of like when you
yeah.
go to like you go to like a concert that they're on tour and you have
Yes, that
all
was the
yes,
idea.
that's the first thing I thought of when I
Yes,
saw this. I'm like this literally
you get
like
it. You see
yeah,
it.
yeah. I love it.
You see it. Yeah, it was supposed to be like a concert set list.
It's
Oh my gosh, I'm so glad you got that. Just right off the bat, you
yeah.
got that.
I remember seeing Big Dapple's versions because I had gotten there early as well because I had rode with one of the members of staff. So I was there super early for like one of the first times like ever. Usually like at that time I got there, I'm still on the train to get to New York. Um
Yeah.
and I just remember like right before they opened the doors, like one of them was passing all the shirts out, and I was like, dude, those look crazy. What? Like, and again, that was the first thing I saw in the back. I was like, this literally reminds me, like, if you're go when you go to a concert and they're on tour, has all their city stop locations on it, and it was incredible.
Yeah, and I liked it. It was like a weird way for us to be connected, even though like
Yes,
we're very
yes,
disconnected.
yeah.
But we all have the same, like we're all doing the same thing. And then yeah, and one other thing that I loved was watching the people's different streams as the lands were happening, and I could
Hmm.
see them
Understood.
walking
Yeah.
around in the background, and I was like, I made that. I made that. I
It's
touched every single one of these shirts that these people are wearing. I've touched every single one.
oh my god. It's like with that scene from SpongeBob where it's like, there I am, Gary. Look.
Yeah, look, I did that.
Oh
I
man.
made one for Falco as well, and I'm really excited because he's gonna wear it for the LCS. Like he's gonna actually wear it on the analyst desk, and it
Oh,
looks
it's gonna be
really
so
cool. And
cool.
it's so uniquely his
Hmm.
because it doesn't have like a land logo. It just has something really simple with his name on the back.
Okay, awesome.
Um,
I can't wait to see it.
y- yeah, it'll be really cool. Yeah, it's weird though because ever since I finished making these, I'm like, okay,
Hmm.
now what?
What's next on
Because
the
literally,
list?
no, I'm so serious. I was
Hmm.
spending almost one day every single weekend leading up to Sea Battle
Hmm.
Royale doing shirts. Like
Yeah.
I was in the shop at like 10 p.m., 11 p.m. pressing these like the night before Sea Battle, like getting
Yeah.
them done. And like I just can't believe the amount of hours I put into making all of these, and I'm just really happy that all the TOs now have them and everybody at their respective events could see them. And I will say Big Dapples was one of my favorites to
Yeah.
design. That and obviously Sea Battles, but
Yeah.
Big Dapple and New England. Oh my gosh, New England Squids. Their design was so fun to make, bringing their mascot Charlie to life.
Yeah.
That one was really fun. The hardest one to do was Booyah Bay and Sunset Surge, but
Hmm.
Sunset Surge had the coolest text by
Yeah.
out of anybody by far. Coolest text. It was like all glittery and like the vinyl cutter was like doing work, making all the little shapes. Like that thing was doing work.
Yeah.
And but that one turned out really cool too.
Yeah, you did a fantastic job. It's like that meme where it's like Spider-Man just finishes like saving the train from falling off and everyone's hoisting Spider-Man away like
Yeah,
protect them at all costs. Like that's
at
like
all
how it feels like you with
costs.
the shirts.
Like, please. I kept repeating wash instructions to people because I'm like,
Yeah.
please just keep them nice. Please. I spent
Yeah.
20 hours on this.
Don't ruin
Please
it.
don't ruin it.
Oh my
I swear.
gosh. You're not gonna get another, or maybe if you loved making them, maybe you could make another. Who knows?
Oh my gosh. And I'm gonna be out of shirt jail for a while. Thank you
Yeah.
very much. I'll go back when I want to go back.
I respect that decision. So we've kind of bounced between a couple of the questions I had for it, but one I do want to go over is what is your favorite part about running a local?
Oh my gosh. I think now that I have 5 under my belt,
Hmm.
it's watching the commute. It's kind of like you're creating your own narrative of like watching what people do. So for
Yeah.
example, I actually have merch of this team. We have a team that has come to every single sea battle, and they consist of like one or two different people every time, but they have like a core roster,
Okay.
and that is Costco Shrimp Cocktail.
I
This
love the name.
team,
I love it.
yes, this team has been at every single sea battle. They play every single time, and as of Sea Battle Royale, they have their own stickers, but
Wow.
they are like a mainstay at
Yeah.
our event. So honestly, I feel like above all, it's watching people become regularly involved and try to, I guess, support the growth of the community in their own way. And I feel
Hmm.
like this is one of their ways of doing it, of like
Yeah.
being like, people don't really, there's teams that like legit Splatoon teams that have been together for a really long time that don't even have merch.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
I know
So
exactly what you mean.
watching people just kind of like create this thing all like as a conglomerate of your thing is really cool. And for example, like I remember when we first ran and we had Aquatic Vanguard showed up, properly named Aquatic Land Guard
I love that name.
when they show up. I know, me too. It's so good. I remember when we had them show up in person, all of them, and we were like, "What?" We were like, "We have Aquatic Vanguard here, really?" Like
Yeah.
we didn't even know they were from here. Like it like brings different people out of the woodwork
Hmm.
in weird ways, and then they start like being regular people at your events. And so
Yeah.
like Aquatic Land Guard plays at every single sea battle as well. They come all the time, and like hanging out with them is really fun. And like for example, when we went to Battle of BC, we asked Ike to join us as our fourth,
Yeah.
and that was really fun, and we got to know him a lot better. Um, and it's nice to watch different people show up consistently every time
Hmm.
and like want to be involved in it too. So like we have someone love you Shisa, thank you so much. We have Shisa who a lot of times comes early to kind of do some decoration stuff.
Hmm.
And we don't ask her to do this. Like it's people feeling like empowered and inspired
Yeah.
to come and support the event in their own way. And for Shisa, that's like decorating sometimes. That sometimes she'll do like a gotcha machine thing, and because she'll get a lot of different products from Japan.
Okay.
So like I have that one egg keychain on my car keys, and like I got this from Shisa.
Oh, it's so
Uh,
cool.
during her like gotcha thing, I have this little like rubber clam blitz football that's like a little coin pouch that I
Okay.
also got from her. And other people got like weapons and things. She
Yeah.
had a couple of those like salmon run jackets that she gave away to people. Um, so you just have people coming and doing their own things, and that are just inspired off of being like, finally, like I have a community, or not like finally I have a community, but like I have a place where I can do this, where I've like
Yeah.
wanted to do this. And I'm sure Big Dapple kind of has that same feeling, and which I wanted to say, like one thing that's on my list is Gridlock.
Yeah.
I want to go to Gridlock so bad. That one has been on my list for a while because I think it's really cool that it's like it's the in between point of like a 1 day event and then like a major event where it's
Yeah.
it's multi, you know,
It's like
it's the
a,
nice in
what's
between
somebody
point.
call it? It's like a regional.
A regional. And I've been wanting to check out Gridlock for a while. because it looks like a lot of fun. But also Big Dapple too. Big Dapple,
Yeah.
just the vibe, just your guys' venue just seems immaculate. Um, and the only really thing I have to go off, obviously, is Sunset Surge. But then Fusion has also been traveling too, because Fusion went to Booyah Bay this year as well.
Okay.
Um, so it's I don't know, it's interesting to hear about other people's struggles and things with their different venues,
Hmm.
um, as well. But anyways, not to get off topic again. You
No, it's
can I
fine.
can
Yeah.
just yeah, I could just keep talking about
It's
it.
okay. I'm a yapper as well. So listen, we had this conversation before we started the stream, but Sapph and I were saying like if you weren't an OG yapper before it was cool, like this is what it's like. This is what it's like to be an OG
You just keep
yapper.
going. You just
Yeah,
keep
you
going.
don't stop.
I usually just keep talking until someone stops me.
Yeah.
Like pretty much. But I think the best part about it, to summarize, the best part about it, running a LAN, is watching all of these different little sub pieces of it start to blossom and become a regular thing. You have teams
Mhm.
that become a regular appearance. You have people that want to do their own things to like help and support it. For example, like making posters for people to sign. The
Mhm.
postcard, like we have, our what was it? The team of artists that did the like land championship postcards. Like we have
Mhm.
our postcard for that. We have so many different stickers. Like here, here's just like all of our stickers. It's like we
Oh
have this like
yeah.
really cool thing. It just like it's blossomed into this thing, and like I see these stickers on people's things.
Yeah.
Um, and it's so neat. It's so
Mhm.
neat to watch it happen. And then and thank you so much to Tori as well. Like you get a pin
Oh yes.
made. Yeah, and like Tori's been doing this really cool thing where they are making pins of all the mascots and trying to make it like a collection or a line, like the
Mhm.
landline, and it's like landline. um but like that's such a cool thing to see blossom out of all of this, and it to me it really feels like the years of 2024, 2025 is like
Mhm.
year of the local land,
Yeah,
because
100%.
you have so much going on at every single local these days. And like I said, the top of my list right now is definitely Gridlock, Big Dapple. I
Mhm.
really want to go to those ones, but um close to me, I really would like to see Booyah Bay.
Yeah.
And especially because
Mhm.
Rice came to Sea Battle 3 and played, and I believe won actually.
Oh wow, okay.
Um right? So you just, I don't know, seeing the cross-pollination of different people
Mhm.
coming from their own like different microclimates
Yeah.
is really cool. And then they get to kind of touch on the experience of it and experience a different venue. And again, like becoming a regular appearance, like how Pepe and Shiny came twice, and I'm sure that
Mhm.
they will come again,
Yeah.
just to be there, because the vibe is really nice. And it's cool too because you get people traveling from all over. We have one person, this is so awesome. We have this one kid, his name is 99 Pancakes. He comes to every sea battle. His dad and sometimes his mom will come with him and drive him up. And I remember his dad was talking to us one time and was like, "This event that you guys put on is so great. Like none of his friends play Splatoon. Most of them only play Fortnite.
Mhm.
And so having this event, this like outlet for him to come and play his favorite game is so cool. And they drive up from Portland
Oh
every single
wow.
time to come and play. And so just being like, oh my, like we know that there's people like that out there that
Mhm.
like are starving for something like this. And we've been starting to see more and more people coming with like families. Like we had a man and his two daughters come to see Battle 4,
Mhm.
and they just found the event on Start GG. They just
Well, yeah.
happened to find it. Happened to
Wow.
find it. And they showed up and they stayed for quite a while just to like check it out and be there.
Yeah.
Um so it's just, I don't know, it's really, again, it's so interesting to see how far of a reach you can have, and providing this space for people to just come and hang out and be themselves.
Mhm.
And yeah, I don't know, like things are just looking really good for Sea Battle. I really hope that we can keep growing and keep encouraging people to come. And I really think that us trying to get our hands in and help Battle of BC and elevate Battle of BC folks a lot more,
Mhm.
um, I think is one of our ways to kind of do that, to kind of enhance our scene up here in the Pacific Northwest a little more.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I love what you said about a couple times so far about other people from other locals coming to Sea Battle or vice versa. You know, you guys going down to other locals overall, and I feel like locals are slowly becoming that kind of, I don't say FOMO for like how it was for majors, but one of those events where it's like I gotta go at least once. Like there's no way I don't like try to make time, if I'm able to at least go down once, see the scene, see the people, have the experience, visit a state that I maybe never been in before, for something that you love doing as a hobby, or you love just spending your time, any free time you might have on progressing yourself with, whether it's any part of Splatoon, right? Competing or TOing or even just watching. So
Hmm.
it's really lovely to see. Obviously you have the big eight that of course are part of the Land Championship Showdown, which we will get to talking to about in a second. Um, but just all the coercement with it, right? From the TOs being able to talk to each other about any issues they might have with whatever is going on, but also just a lot of players being like, oh, you know what? Hey, I came from so like this far away just for this local because like
Hmm.
I just want to experience this side of the country or this event overall to see how it is and how it is. And you always love hearing the feedback of it too, because it's like, wow, like you guys are incredible. Like I didn't realize how much fun other locals are. And it's so amazing to see that. And we're probably going to see it a lot more, because like you said, this year and last year is really the spike, the burst in locals. And we actually see a couple, like I think right now are behind the scenes getting built up. I know one popular one that I've seen kind of start building traction is Twin Squiddies. So
Yes.
we're seeing more areas, the older people get and the more, people that start to connect, build those locals for their own states. And it's honestly such an amazing experience to not only live through, but get to just experience and see that, like, wow, like we're getting to a point now where like we're having our locals and they're ending up like with like great success. It's not like it happens one and done. It's like we could keep running this, we could keep going because we're being able to give the community in this part of the country, uh, a spot to shine in person for an event if they can't make it to the Riptides or, the RIP the LTCs, but just majors overall.
Yeah, and I like that each local kind of also has like their regional things
Hmm.
as well. So like so far in terms of like the pins that Tori has made, Tori has only hit the West Coast so far.
Hmm.
So Cali, Booyah Bay, Sunset Surge, us. Like we have our pins, and so I'm hoping that Tori will start making their way to the east and just kind of start to infiltrate over there,
Yeah.
to get in on different pins. Because a Charlie pin from New England Squids would go so hard. That'd be incredible. And Gala, oh
Yes,
my goodness.
Gala's too far away from me right
Oh,
now, but I have Gala off on the side with Kermit.
but I like that though because I it makes me feel really connected to the other locals around me.
Yes, yes.
Especially because like I've seen Pepe multiple times this year, which is just a treat in itself. Getting to see two
Yeah.
really awesome people multiple times a year, and like I don't know, I feel really connected to those other locals closer to me because we get to talk a lot more and kind of like it's just people that are familiar with the area too, like familiar with the overall area. And I agree with you. I feel like Twin Squiddies is also doing some really good work. They've been putting in a lot of work to get themselves bigger. So
Hmm.
is Squidwalkie.
Oh
I think that
yes, I
general
forgot.
area of the
Yes.
Midwest, that general area of the Midwest, I feel like is really trying to do something good.
Hmm.
And I'm glad that like Chai Shoals is kind of there for a good jumping off point because Chai
Hmm.
Shoals has been here longer than all of us have.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so shout out to Fropey for that one. Um, but it's really nice to see all of these other different locals like trying to give themselves another chance, and like the ones that are really like gaining traction and growing and making it big. Um, I just hope that there's more in store for them, and I'll say it again, like I'm feeling really good about Sea Battle's future.
Hmm.
Just because I feel like Seattle is just such a booming place. That it's becoming a very big hub for a lot of reasons. And it would be a good spot to have a major in
Yeah.
also. If there were to be one, but also like I was saying, Vancouver is also a great spot for a major just in terms of places to stay, places to eat, things to do
Yeah.
outside of the major, things to do. It's a good spot to do it. I don't know. Like I keep saying, the West Coast is really starving for a major. We need something because we have so much going on over here with our locals.
Yeah.
and how much we can kind of co-horse with each other and do things with each other. So, but it's only up from here. We just need,
Yeah.
again, we need a chance. We need a chance.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? The best thing I think that I can think of too about it is like if one does pop up, you have so many individuals down on the West Coast that are really into the production side of things, like yourself, that would absolutely shine brightly in helping those events run, helping bring the numbers to, right? Because you have, I think what you guys have 3 or 4 uh locals down there, right? So you're able to bring over a lot of audience to that event potentially. So like ultimately it would turn out as a massive success, at least in my eyes, with everything that you have capable. All you need is just that time, place, and name for it.
Hmm. Exactly. We'll get there.
Yeah,
We'll get
absolutely.
there. It's only up from here.
All right, it's about time we talk about the reason I brought you on here, the LAN Championship Showdown. So first and foremost, I want to get your thoughts on it. What was your reaction to when, Falco was starting to put this thing together, just when it started happening, and now where we're at here officially, how it's literally tomorrow. Like, let's get
I
your
think
thoughts on it.
I have so many thoughts on it. I can I think one of what the first one that comes to mind though
Hmm.
is when the talks were being made and plans were starting to get put together, the drawings were getting put on the board, right?
Yeah.
The amount of people that were getting brought in and agreeing to helping,
Hmm.
that was one turning point for me where I was like, okay, like this is real, that this is a big deal.
Yeah.
um just watching the amount of people coming, like the different people from within the scene coming in to like either for example, like JPEG made all of the stream assets.
Hmm.
And so watching somebody spend so much time in cultivating the stream assets and putting so much work into them, and they look phenomenal, and I'm so excited for us to get to showcase it for everybody tomorrow, because I really hope that the message has gone out far and wide. Like
Hmm.
I say this being like, what do I know? But to me, like this is probably going to be the online event of the year
Yeah.
for the scene, by far, because nothing has ever been done before where you have a multi-stream broadcast
Hmm.
like this
Yeah.
with an analyst desk doing live look-ins on each of those broadcasts and people analyzing everything live. So I think Falco, Keon, and Nito are going to do just a wonderful job with that, because they all, um, not only I think have a lot of commentary experience and yapping experience,
Hmm.
but they also are very sports oriented people. So I feel when it comes to having this sort of conversation about the game, they are the best to do it.
Yeah.
With each other, just considering their joint knowledge together and how much experience they all have in general, with the game. So that I think they're going to bring a really awesome show for us tomorrow. And I'm happy about the talent. I mean, obviously you're part of the talent tomorrow as well,
Hmm.
which I'm grateful to have you on the roster, because if we didn't have you here, I mean, if you were playing in LCS, then like we couldn't have you here.
Yeah.
So I'm really glad that you tried both ways. You were like, I'm gonna try to play in it, but now I'm gonna be on this side of things. So I'm glad that you're on this side of the fence.
Yeah.
I was really happy with the talent that we got for this to be a part of it. And as someone that's like also making like a commentary doc for folks to have information to pull from, I have full faith that like all of these people are going to be able to just like talk about everything that they can to like, grandstand or keep things like, what I mean, like to keep
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
conversation going. Like I'm really excited for the talent that we have, because again, a very skilled group of people coming together for it. And so again, just seeing the different people that were being brought into it and like how we were putting everything together, and especially like the people we have broadcasting tomorrow, like we just have a lot of of the best
Yeah.
in
Yep.
the community coming together to do this. Um, and I'm just so excited to see the growth of all of it. And now we have like tomorrow is the day
Hmm.
where all of it is going to really come together and shine. Um, And I think it's just a cool, like I said it earlier too, it's a great way to bridge the gap between the folks that like to do a lot more stuff in the IRL community versus the folks that like to do a lot of stuff in the online community.
Yeah.
Um, and so it's a really nice bridge to be built, I think, between those two worlds. Uh, because I feel like they are very separate. Because when I think of the Splatoon community, I do think of the LAN community.
Hmm.
And I'm
Yeah.
like, this is the community that truly represents us, more than anything. Um, and so I'm glad that this is a very good way to kind of mesh those two pieces together. Um, and just, yeah, watching it all come together has just been really special. And it's really cool to be a part of it. It's really cool to be a part of it. I love being on the Splatoon tournament admin team. Admittedly, it's like having to run Ludi tonight this season with also planning this, with also IRL obligations of my own, has been really challenging for me,
Hmm.
to be a part of it fully and present fully. But um, it's been a treat all the same. Again, it's Falco's brainchild come to life, like something he's always wanted to do, and he's got all the right people on it to do it.
Yeah.
Um, so it's really cool. It's gonna be really fun. I'm so excited, and I'm excited to like see what people wear tomorrow. I'm wondering, are people gonna dress really nice
Yeah.
for their
Yeah.
commentary blocks? Like, are like, what are people gonna kind of bring to the table tomorrow? But the graphics and everything, I think, are gonna blow people away. It's not gonna be like any other Splatoon broadcast. I think it's gonna be totally different, and um, yeah, JPEG did a really fantastic job to try to showcase like what Falco was going for. So it's gonna be so cool. I'm excited to have everybody watching.
Yeah, I mean, especially like for myself for the commentary side of things, I'm excited to just be able to see it as well firsthand, like live with everyone else that's gonna be watching. Just like it's gonna be really hard for me to stay on track of like talking about the game when I'm gonna be seeing probably the amazing work that JPEG has put in. Also, just everyone else on the production team. Like I gotta have to refrain from being like, "Yo, this is so cool. How'd they make it?" Wait, sorry, game. That's right, the game.
Yeah, it's gonna be setting a different benchmark, I
Mhm.
think, for online productions.
Yeah.
But it's, yeah. I just like, I don't know how, I don't want to like spoil
No,
anything.
absolutely. Hey, listen, no worries. Well, let's shift gears just slightly then. So I know overall you're looking forward to this, the event itself, running it, just being a part of it. Is there any one thing though that like is like that kind of shining star that like was the most thing you're looking forward to for tomorrow's event?
I think I'm just glad to see how much support that it's getting
Hmm.
on different social media channels.
Yeah.
Um I think I hope the biggest takeaway is for people to feel encouraged and empowered to make the trip to to those locals, like you
Yeah.
said. And I mean reaching far, right? Like I'm talking about me flying to New York, going to Big Dapple.
Yeah.
But like make a trip out of it, right? Like don't just go for, like, I wouldn't just go for Big Dapple. I would go and want to explore parts of New York City. I'd want
Hmm.
to, I'd want to make an
Yeah.
itinerary for it, and Big Dapple would be a part. It would be the main part of it, but
Hmm.
it would be a part of it.
Yeah.
Um and so it just, I hope it really does empower people to make that trip. Book that ticket, go to that place,
Hmm.
um and go and see what that scene is like, or even just like if you need to make that 3-hour drive, 2-hour drive, and just commit part of that weekend to make it out to that place. Like I just really, more than anything, I hope it empowers people to encourage the other community around them, and kind of ask like what their role is, like what can my role be in all of this, and like where can I try to get involved. um
Hmm.
because I feel it is events like this, like LCS and stuff, that jumpstart people into their commentary career, that jumpstart people into wanting to get into production, that jumpstart people into wanting to go to low events. Like
Yeah.
it will be broadcasts like this that get people to do it. And so more than anything, I'm hoping it inspires people. And like
Yeah.
it sounds kind of cringy and kind of silly, but
Yeah.
I'm hoping that it does encourage and inspire people to like do more and do that thing, because it's like you said, like it scratches an itch of something that you really liked, and
Yeah.
you're like, you know what, I am gonna post that video,
Yeah.
even if there's something about it that I'm like, what am I really doing this for? It's
Yeah.
like, no, like I am gonna post that video because it means something to me, and obviously it will mean something to someone else too.
Mhm.
Um, so more than anything, I hope people feel inspired by it. I hope people feel that there's a way that they can get back involved in the scene if they've left for a little bit, get re-involved, get introduced to something new about it. Because I feel like this community in particular is a good spot to try to explore those interests. People are so nice and definitely want to give you the chance to try something. You just have to you just have to reach out there. You just have to look for it.
Yeah.
Um, so I hope this encourages people to do those things, to take that leap.
Absolutely. And it's like you mentioned before, how this is really bridging that gap from local in-person events or in-person majors to the online scene. And it really does has the opportunity to spark uh that huge leap for people of like, wow, like I usually only play this game online, or I ever only watch like this stuff from online, but knowing that there's 8 teams competing in this event that all won from respective majors across the country. Now it's like, wait, now hold on a second. Now maybe hey, I'm close to that LAN, or I'm close to that local, because that's going to be a big hitting point. Is like, obviously they're representing it and they're showing, you know, the strength that they have to be here. Well, not today, but tomorrow. It's gonna want them to maybe have the opportunity to say, maybe I can go down there, even if it's just to watch. Like, let me take that trip, see what it's all about, or vice versa, right? It could be like you mentioned, this really being that ignition for people who had that slight interest of like getting into production or commentary, or maybe in general just like being analytical. We have a lot of great members of this community who post on like Blue Sky, doing a lot of analytical work for events. For I've seen it for Ludi, I've seen it obviously for the Championship Showdown, I've seen it for major events overall, like our online majors, like the SQ major. You see a lot of these individuals who just take it upon themselves to be able to put in that kind of work because they just love that aspect of the game, rather than just the usual playing it or competing or um, watching or helping run the event to make it function. You know, it really has the opportunity to have so many different encouraging outlets, and that's what makes this so extremely unique and special.
And I really like what you said just a little bit ago about how like these locals are your region's major.
Yeah.
Like Sea Battle is a Pacific Northwest major. Booyah Bay is the California major.
Hmm.
SoCali is a California major. It's like these these places, these local lands like are your local area's majors.
Yeah.
Like, and I think that that's something that needs to be hit home a little bit more. It's like, hey, like this is another microclimate within the macro of it
Hmm.
that leads to those successes at those majors. Like that this is a like it's the minor league versus the major. Like this
Yeah,
is a
yeah.
in you know what I mean? Like this is kind of like the minor league in a
Yes.
way,
Yeah.
and you're trying to make your way into like the riptides of the world, and like
Hmm.
the upper ranks of riptides of the world. And so when you go and support these events and get involved, it's like you are trying to put that event more on the map, and like it does mean more because the stakes will be higher. And I mean, for example, I think H-Town had like 20 teams. Like they have a big scene down there in
Yeah.
Texas. Um and they had so many people show up to H-Town Splashdown for this last one.
Hmm.
Um so it's really nice to see that. And we were also hoping to have a lot of folks, and I think it's because we did a venue change. Our venue got a little bit more expensive for a 1 year anniversary, but we had more activities there and everything.
Yeah.
And we had less teams than we were hoping for, but the event overall was like amazing.
Hmm.
Just in terms of like things to do, the people that came and hung out, it was really awesome. So I just it's really cool to me that people like need to understand that this is a higher stakes thing. Like it
Yeah.
can be
Yep.
high stakes and it's important. And I think that the LCS really instilled that into people of like, hey, like you could win your local. However, if you win your local, you get invited to this very exclusive tournament.
Yeah.
So I really like how LCS kind of like upped the stakes a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I think that that encouraged a lot of people to also travel. Like you said, you went to Chai Shoals and like you competed at Big Dapple, but like it encouraged people to travel to other lands.
Yeah.
Like it jump started people to travel to other lands to try to qualify
Mm-hmm.
for things. Which I'm hoping that even though there isn't a higher stakes maybe in the future like in the near future necessarily, I still hope that people will like want to go to travel to other lands
Mm-hmm.
regardless. Um and I hope that more of the lands can show and showcase different things about them, like how having more venue camera or interviewing people that were there and
Yeah.
like talking about their land a little bit more. And I like that we can do that at Sea Battle. I hope that I'm sure other lands do it too, but I hope that they can have more opportunity to do that, just to like make it sound more enticing and appealing to get people to visit.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's really what I can jumpstart in. Like you mentioned, like for me, that was kind of the jumpstart to me wanting to branch out to another local. Not only because like I have some friends down there that go to chess shows regularly that they have been asking me to go for a while. I never really had an opportunity to, or felt like I'll have that window. And then here's announced the Land Championship Showdown, and I was like, you know what? It'd be really cool to try to qualify for this event, even if it's not in my own hometown local. But it's not only am I going to be able to try to compete for them, but experience the event, experience the people down there, get to talk to a lot of people, experience their venue, but also just the state overall. While I was down there, like the main purpose was try shows, but I got to do so much more. I mean, I got to stand on one of the ball things outside of a Dave and Buster's and got the hardest photo I think I've ever taken of myself. Like that was pretty peak. I'm not gonna lie. Got to go to like an ice cream museum. It just I was able to get shown what's fun and what's cool to do in another state that I knew nothing about. And that's what really makes it such a fun experience going to another local. Like yeah, it's cool to go for the main purpose of like the event as a whole, but like if you don't at least take a day or at least a couple hours to experience what it's like to be a local in that area, you're missing out. And it's a really good opportunity to finally also explore and, say, hey, I actually traveled. Maybe you're someone who doesn't travel often, but you've always had that kind of in the back of your mind. I'd love to one day go to like another state for whatever reason. You know,
Yes.
Splatoon can literally be that reason, and you get to play the game you
Yes.
love and hang out with friends and see something new.
Exactly. Exactly. I feel so seen by you lately.
Yeah.
I just you're hitting home.
I'm matching your vibes.
You are. You're yes. You're picking up what I'm putting down.
Yeah. Yeah, us yappers are on the same wavelength. That's how it works.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
Let's talk a bit about the teams for this event, right? So one of the questions I had is about predictions, right? Is there any team that you have bias here, obviously, if you wish to, but any team you would love to see win, or is there any team that you're excited to see compete in this event? Maybe two certain teams against each other, or overall to see how well a certain team can do.
Okay, so my little Henlo is seated first for
Mm-hmm.
obvious reasons.
Yeah.
Um, I my bias honestly comes for Prickly Pear, but
Mm-hmm.
that's because Prickly Pear are my friends.
Yeah. That's so unfair, honestly.
And yeah, Prickly Pear is my friends, and so I am wishing them all the best for the tournament. I'm also really excited for No Boys Allowed from Bouillabaisse.
Yes.
I first of all, their name is the best name to me. No Boys Allowed. I love that so much. I can't put my finger on why. Hmm. And I'm excited to watch them. I am so excited to watch Sea Bubbles. I have a feeling Sea Bubbles is going to make a lot more of a commotion. Um, I feel maybe than some folks are in their minds I are giving them credit for. I think they're gonna do very well. I'm excited they're representing us. They're excited
Hmm.
too. And I think yeah, I just think they're gonna do more than I feel than what meets the eye so far.
Yeah.
But I will say Prickly Pear, so excited to watch Prickly Pear. and I really want to see how far No Boys Allowed gets, because I do think that I think the seeds that are between like 2 and 5,
Hmm.
I think are a crapshoot. I think that any of those seeds really have an honest chance of kind of making their way a lot higher than maybe
Yes.
what is predicted. Um, but I'm most interested in the idea that folks that are competing on these teams, some of them are a mix of like online warriors, people that
Yes.
play in so
Yeah.
many online tournaments, and a mix of people that go to LANs a lot
Yeah.
and also do really well on LAN. So I like the mix of experience. Like we're getting a
Hmm.
really good melting pot of experience. Again, bridging that gap. You have a lot of folks that are very well versed in online tournaments
Hmm.
settings, and you have folks that are very comfortable at LAN and like sometimes do better at LAN, arguably, which raises a whole other question for me of like how are things gonna go for people that are more advantageous on LAN,
Yeah.
but then they are now having to play in online. Um, and produce similar results. So like that's another kind of variable I've been thinking about too,
Hmm.
is how is that going to translate? But it's going to be fun overall, and I'm glad that we get to see every single perspective. We get to follow every single perspective and like refer back to it with commentary, with notes,
Yeah.
um, and just kind of have all of the data at the end of it. It'll be nice to kind of put all of that together.
Yeah, I mean, I think something that I really like, you hit the nail on the head with it, bit with the players being mixed from, online warriors and just LAN warriors. And I think something I love seeing also is like the players individually of who they are, right? Like you have some of these teams that have players that that are top level or high level players, but then you have some other members that like maybe not people aren't that aware of because they're not, as you mentioned, as active online, but they're pretty well known in their local scene. Or maybe they're a little bit newer to both sides and they just stick in a small circle and they just compete with those friends and they're just really good that way. So it really shines a light on these players overall as individuals to have this opportunity to play together as a team to obviously not only represent the home turf that they're competing for, the local that they're representing, but kind of bring in that audience of like, hey, like, I didn't know this one player on the team, but I knew the top level player that's a part of it. Like, I think it's so unique seeing so many well known names with not so well known names because it really shines a light on like, there's so many good players that just are hidden behind the really popular ones. And I love that this is going to
Yeah.
give that opportunity to have a lot of spotlight.
But I also think it goes to show, which I know you experienced this at LAN, I know I experienced this at LAN. Um, Sometimes it does feel like people really like cast a strong light on you.
Hmm.
And I want to just reiterate, it's like, hey, I'm just a person.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I just I'm just a person that is
Yeah.
like very passionate, and like I'm willing to put myself out there and do something about it.
Yes.
And I feel that sometimes we lose sight of that. Um and I like, all of the players that are playing in this, like they all have lives. They all, Splatoon is something that they do for fun, and they have a lot of fun doing it, and they're very good at it.
Hmm.
And it branches into a lot of other hobbies and things where they can be creative and like and flex that muscle. But at the end of the day, like I'm a like I'm not someone that's like special,
Yeah.
or you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I just
Like,
put a lot
and
of work into this one area. I
I
love a
just
little
I
too
just work
much. I
hard.
love it a little
I
too
just
much.
Yes, I just work a little too hard sometimes for things that I really care about.
Yeah.
And so that's why it's like it's nice that people like really recognize your hard work and everything, but just
Yeah.
know it's like, hey man, it's quite literally for the love of the game. Like
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
that's what's I'm running out of spite out of for love of the game.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, like I'm just a normal person, and same with the players playing. They're all just regular people wanting to play in a tournament and prove themselves. And I just love that we've created this like very epic like storyline of like this is the battle of the ages,
Yeah.
like type of thing. And it's like we're all just people doing this game, being like, hey, this is really fun. What if we just like make it a really big deal?
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's nice to like add that onto it. I think it makes it fun.
Yeah, I love the that this brings up the opportunity to answer the question. Who is the like, of course, like when back in the day when IPL did the state versus state tournament.
Region Rumble,
Yeah,
bring it
Richard
back.
Rumble,
Bring it back,
please,
Proving Grounds,
please.
please. We want Region Rebel again. Popgun was like, I'm never doing this again, and we're like, but
Yeah, it was
why?
so fun. But this is like the new and advanced version of that of like who's the better state, who can come out on top and claim victorious. This is like literally the like a state championship and like who's the
Yeah,
best state of them all.
we'll never make it to nationals.
Yeah,
Oh
exactly.
man.
All right, let's do. I would love to get your prediction on who you think will win this event tomorrow. I'll give mine as well. If you'd like, I could go first.
Okay, yeah, you first.
Okay, okay. So looking at the qualifying teams of all that we have, as strong as I see a lot of these teams are, I think for me the team I see bringing home first place is my little Henlo, and I'll give them a little bit of a reason why. Right, these players have played consistently a lot on and off of the land in general. You've seen them play in online majors, you've seen them play in those charity tournaments, like whether it's like one, two, or three of them together, or all four. They bring a lot of strong synergy to the table, as well as, of course, just mechanical skill and game knowledge. They bring a lot that they're going to put into this event and go all out. I mean, I don't think it'll happen where we ever see like a clean sweep where it's like there's not at least every team dropping at least one or two games. But to me, they are riding that number one spot because of just what I know about those players and what they bring.
Mhm. I don't disagree with you. I think my little Henlo, they're seeded number one for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, they're number one seed for a
Yeah,
reason. They have many reasons. Um, but I don't know if it's bias,
it can be. It's
but
okay if it is.
it might be just a little bit. But I truly think that Prickly Pear has a shot, and
Hmm.
I do think that Glub Glub has a shot.
Yes. Yeah.
I do think Glub Glub is also on the same vein as my little Henlo, and I think Prickly Pear is as well.
Hmm.
Um, but in terms of the dip between Prickly Pear and Glub Glub, I don't know.
Yeah.
But
That's
I do
fair.
think it would. I do think that there could be an upset where it's one of the two.
Hmm. That's a match I
Um,
want to see happen. Like it's literally
exactly.
like the two those two locals, just Sunset Surge and Big Dapple, have a lot of fun of just kind of like in a joking way, obviously, but having that friendly banter with each other. West Coast versus East Coast. You have West Coast best coast and East Coast goats. You know what I mean? It's like
Hmm.
um I would love to finally see just those two teams face off and see who comes out on top. I think it would be so entertaining. I think the chat would go wild. The commentary would be insane. Um, I
And will
100% agree
be,
with
and
that.
it will be.
Yes, absolutely. It will be
Well,
no matter what.
so just a little bit of statistics for you as well. Just thinking about so think about the 8 teams, right? Think
Hmm.
about their overall game wins and losses.
Yes.
Pretty much everybody except for Siku got kicked out from H Town and No Boys Allowed from Booyah Bay had a perfect record.
Yeah. That's
And
insane
Sea
to think about.
Bubbles.
Yeah.
And Sea Bubbles. Everybody had basically a perfect record, I think, up until the bracket reset stage.
Hmm.
So, my little Henlo with the amount of teams that were playing, they had 13 and 0. With Octopus. Oh my god, the Tri-Shoals team is like that was something that
Octopodes.
they Octopody. Thank you. I was like, please, phonetically, can somebody say it for me because I
Yeah.
kept trying to say it. Can you say it one more time?
Yeah. Octopodes.
Octopodes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna need to say that over and over and over again.
Yeah.
So Octopodes went 15 and 0. No Boys Allow went 17 and 3, but that was probably before they got to bracket reset, I would
Hmm.
assume. Prickly Pear went 17 and 0. So it's like you already have the best of the best playing at these locals, and they have the records to prove it.
Yeah.
So now it's it's the region rumble, right? It's a
Yeah.
matter of, okay, let's throw a stone across the way over to Seattle and see what happens after we do that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what happens next? Um,
Absolutely.
so it's pretty incredible to see that the records that the teams are bringing to the table are like literally the best at their current event. And it's I don't know. I'm really rooting for Glub Glub or Prickly Pear. I really
Yeah.
think that there's such a wide knowledge of experience between those two.
Mm-hmm.
So I do think My Little Henlo is going to have some problems with those two. And I think No Boys Allowed as well.
Yeah.
I think No Boys Allowed is also going to surprise us, especially because like Helix is also online and IRL major person extraordinaire, just like a couple of other folks in those rosters. So again, wide net of experience coming together for each team, and I think it's going to be a toss up for me. But I know that My Little Henlo is going to do really great
Mm-hmm.
regardless of what happens. They're going to kill it.
Yeah.
Um so I don't know. I hope every team brings their A game, and you
Mm-hmm.
know how it is. Like some people will like practice. They'll try
Yeah.
to warm up and everything. And then at the end of the day, they take to B Sky and they're just like, that wasn't my best.
Yeah.
I could have been better.
Yeah.
Like, you
Should
know,
have
it's like
practiced at least once.
should have yeah, like should have done a little more. But it's like, you're doing your best, and
Mm-hmm.
that's all that matters. Like
Yeah.
you did try,
Yeah.
and you're gonna try to put your best foot forward. And I yeah, I don't know. That's all we can ask for some good entertainment tomorrow.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I know all of these teams and players are gonna bring the absolute best that they can. As if this is like, this is their major. You know what I mean? This is their they fought through the qualifier, they succeeded with incredible records, and now this is like the major that, in a sense feels like our little mini worlds of like each our own state worlds
Yes.
colliding, right? This is like the world championship for lands. Because now you have so many incredible players from each state now finally going against each other. And it's going to be really interesting to see based on not only the team that they beat at their local, right? But what are they going to do differently maybe that's going to really challenge some of these other teams that really are like those strong boulders in the way, right? This is like the top of the top, the best of the best that's being offered by per state, by players. It's going to be really interesting to see how these records continue from those locals that they did so well into. How many 3-0s are going to go up on the board? How many game fives are we going to see? And ultimately, who's going to end up in that grand finals? Who is going to be fighting for that title?
Oh, we'll have to see tomorrow, 4 p.m.
That's right. On was it? It's 5 different Splatoon tourney channels, I think.
We own up to Splatoon Tourney 12.
That blows my mind. That blows my mind.
The first
12.
time the first time I ever tried testing broadcast for Ludi Tonight was on Splatoon Tourney 12. I had to practice because I was like, I don't know how any of this works. And then Falco was like, okay, here's the stream key for this. You
Yeah.
can go live here and just see what it looks like and test it. And I was like, thank you so much, Splatoon Tourney 12. If nobody got me, Splatoon Tourney 12 got me, okay?
Yeah.
But the actual broadcast schedule, the run of show, if you will,
Mhm.
is on Blue Sky. And so the analyst desk with Falco, Kion, and Nito will be on Splatoon Tourney. And then you have all of the games being spread across Splatoon Tourney 1 through 4. If you want to come hang out with Rose, Rocket, and myself tomorrow, we will be on Splatoon Tourney 4. And then eventually every broadcast is going to lead and cascade into the Splatoon Tourney broadcast for grand finals, which I will also be there with Popgun tomorrow evening.
Oh, you're gonna kill it. Oh, you're gonna kill it. I'm so excited.
So are you. So are you. It's gonna be a fun time.
Yes. Oh, all right. As we're rounding off the last couple questions that I have, one of the last ones I do want to ask is running this qualifier for Sea Battle. Was it any different than running just your regular Sea Battle local? Is there anything you had to do differently? Any different kind of prep work, or was it pretty much about the same?
It was different. it was the same in terms of vibes. Vibes
Uh-huh.
were immaculate. Vibes were immaculate. It was different because it was the first time we ran in a different venue.
Okay.
So instead of, like I said before, our regular venue is GameWorks in downtown Seattle. They are really gracious hosts to us. They're really awesome. But for this one, we wanted to do something a little bit more special because not only was this our qualifier event, but it
Mhm.
was also our 1 year anniversary. And so we were like, hey, we want to do something special. We want to go a little bigger. So why don't we try to get a different venue? And this is a venue that has been requested by the crowd so
Okay.
many times. And we were like, okay, like, why don't we try giving it a shot
Yeah.
and seeing how it goes? And so we ran it at the University of Washington. We ran it at their Husky Union building, or the Hub. We ran it in their esports lounge, in their pool hall. We rented the entirety of both venues for the entire day. Um, and it went really well. It went really well for us running in a different
That's
place.
good.
It was a lot bigger. What was great about it is that there were so many extra activities for people to do, and we had an artist alley. We had a salmon run side event that the Splatoon or Husky Splatoon League.
Mhm.
I think it's the college's Splatoon club.
Okay.
Which, shout out Wani and Avocado. They ran the Salmon Run side event for us.
Mhm.
And Husky Splatoon League, there it is. They were the ones that put it on for us. So there was a Salmon Run side event. We had the main tournament itself. There was a bunch of pool tables. There was foosball. There was ping pong. There was a lot of other activities for folks to participate in and do
Yeah.
while they were waiting for their matches. But also just like places to hang out and like whatever. We had a birthday cake because we were
Oh yeah,
celebrating
I
our
remember the
mascot's
photos.
birthday.
Yes.
Yeah,
That
it was
kick
like
looks
our
so good.
mascot's
I'm not gonna
birthday.
lie.
It was very good. Very good cake. We did that. Like we added so much more. Like we had a
Mhm.
raffle for winning a 3D weapon printed by Fusion. Um we had interviews and like did venue tours because Jarian is a wizard and was able to bring their gimbal with a camera attached, and they could walk around the venue and like show off what's going on and talk to different people. So it was different because the stakes felt a lot higher because it was like our qualifier and we had a bigger venue and everything. But we had so much downtime at different points, but during that downtime we were all really busy.
Yeah.
And normally when we have some downtime, we're all kind of like, okay, we can all sit and breathe for a second.
Mhm.
But this time we were all like super busy, and like I'm grateful, like I said, on my side of things as the broadcast manager, if you will, having Jarian and Dynamite there because they both love broadcasting and producing. And so I got to kind of play the role of like stream runner, but then I had moments where I was behind the production desk a lot, and we got to invite different people to do spec camming to just like try it out,
Yeah.
and just like volunteer for it. And so I don't know, it was just I liked the setup a lot, and it felt like higher stakes just because the venue was bigger. We wanted to make it a better event and we were adding so much to it.
Mhm.
And I'm just really happy with the feedback we received. Like people were really honest and they were like, the venue was amazing. This was really awesome. However, like maybe next time for this could be different, you know?
Yeah.
And one thing I'm really glad that went well was our artist alley.
Mhm.
And our artists that came all had positive reviews of like, I would do this again. This was really fun. Um, Glad that we could have the space to do this.
Yeah.
Obviously, like this could be a little bit better. However, like overall, my experience with this was great.
Awesome.
Um, and so like the Salmon Run side event was also critically acclaimed. And so having those things go successfully, and like it's nice to see our event grow bigger and bigger each time. And so I would really like to see us um try to do those things again and like try to make those things a regular thing. I think it's just hard because we're really limited by space. And
Yeah.
especially if you have more and more people showing up, it's like space does become your limiting factor. And then having to try to have multiple setups for things and having like a whole additional salmon run setup, like we had to borrow monitors from different people for this.
Mhm.
So there's just a lot of parties involved to try to make it work.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so I just hope for next time and like in the future, like we can continue this upward mobility, but like we need to bring more people in.
Yeah.
Um And luckily, we have a lot of people that help with tear down and setup.
Hmm.
Um, so that's nice.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And then I know exactly what you mean when it comes to the space situation because not yet anyways, maybe one day down the future. I have kind of a self goal alignment of how I want things to go for my when I do eventually want to retire from comp, but I'm not a TO for Big Dapple or for Metro Inc. But I love helping out wherever I can if I'm able to. I love making their trailers and everything, but I also love just talking to them in general about how we are on time, how the setup's going, how things are going, and just being a spectator and competitor when it goes to just seeing these events. Space is the biggest issue. I remember Gridlock last year we had I think twice the amount of people we had at the first gridlock, which was still a lot too. Like we I think it both times hit the team cap, and we all went out to like the street because we got lucky. It was closed off for like a street event regardless, so we were able to like just stand in the middle of the street and get a group photo in. um but there were so many people, and then like just going back in the room once everybody like got back to their it's just where they were sitting or playing or whatever, it was crazy just seeing so many people in such a really enclosed spot. And it's one of those things where it's like that's always got to be on the back of the TO's minds. And it is. I've talked to a couple of them, and that's always the biggest scare, the biggest worry, especially because other facilities in the area are either kind of really far out or don't match the same um, kind of value that the uh, Brookland, the spacing that we have, the event area, what they host for us, right? Because they have all the monitor setups, they have the PC setups, they have a stage, they have a lot of
Right.
seating, they have so much that like most venues don't offer. So it's always tricky to be like, and I'm always wondering for them. It's like when is it going to be that point where it's like we have no choice but to try to take that next step and find a different place because of how limited we are on the volume in that area because people just keep coming, and which is fantastic. Like it's awesome to see so many people keep coming, but at some point it's gonna get to a point where it's like, hey, we kind of need y'all to like stand outside.
It really does become standing room only. And for Sea Battle 4, we changed up our venue setup. We were still in GameWorks, but we did it in their kitchen. So
Hmm.
we had a dining room, a kitchen, and then we had their party room, and all of that was connected. Like it was like one big corridor, but
Yeah.
it was very feng shui, like it all connected in some way. And I remember when we had that set up, like people really liked that because again, it was more space to hang out.
Hmm.
You could order food and beverage right there. Um, you could you could walk out and go play in the arcade. You could go somewhere else to eat in the heart of downtown Seattle. Like it was really nice, but overall, like just having more space for people to walk around and hang out was so nice. And so I'd imagine for when we go back to Sea Battle 6, that we are going to probably return to GameWorks, I'd imagine.
Hmm.
And so that's probably going to be our normal setup until we outgrow that space because we have outgrown their esports lounge. And so that is why we've been like borrowing monitors and being in this larger area because we're like, we can't take many monitors out of the esports lounge. Luckily, they do provide us with at least one setup of their own esports, like of their monitors, which is really
Okay.
great of them to do.
Yeah.
They do provide that for us. And but then like the rest of the setups is like we're on our own. So we have to outsource those monitors. And so I'd imagine this space at GameWorks, which we like a lot. We really like this kitchen setup, and how well it went last time. But it will come to a point where we could outgrow it. And we really wanted to fill the space at the University of Washington and just really try to reach high and be like, could this be worth it for us? However, the one thing we did not like about the University of Washington is we had to charge a lot more for entry
Hmm.
to pay for that venue space. Um, which is something that we were a little bit hesitant against, but at the same time we were like, well, we have to do it in order to pay for it.
Yeah.
Um, but we know that that kind of deterred some people from coming, and like obviously, like none of us make money from doing this. Like
Yeah. No. Yeah.
we all do this out of the goodness of our hearts and because we have fun doing it.
Hmm.
And so GameWorks, we can kind of have more control over that. Uh, and not feel like we are expecting people to pay a lot of money versus like a venue that costs a lot of money. uh we do need to charge more, but then it's like, but that's the price of growth almost, right?
Yeah.
It's
No.
like, okay,
Absolutely.
but if this venue really fits our needs in the future, then it's like this is kind of like where it's leading to, right? So it's just those are all conversations I feel like as a TO that are really challenging to have and just
Hmm.
try to deliberate because it's like at the end of the day, like we just want to provide a space where people can come together and hang out and be with their friends,
Yeah.
and play a game that they like and create a vibe, create an atmosphere. Um, but it does come down to those challenging decisions of like, okay, well, how do we find a space that'll cater to that?
Hmm.
And how do we make that work for us to get people to show up? Because it's like we know that money is it's hard. It's really
Yeah.
hard these days for a lot of people. So it's like we don't want to be overcharging, but we also need your help. If this is the space that you want, then like we need your help with that.
Hmm.
Um so it's and yeah, and we also like actually Fusion is saying it in the chat too. Like we have a lot of equipment as well.
Yeah.
uh so it's just I don't know, it's challenging. There's a lot of different considerations as a TO. And you just want to do the best for your community. You want to just do right by your community. Um so it can be challenging. And it so running Sea Battle Royale was kind of tough in that aspect. However, overall the event was so great and the venue space was really accommodating to us.
Hmm.
Um and I hope that we can run it there again sometime.
Absolutely. And that's all got to be one of the most challenging things as a TO is having to push for those kind of changes because even though like on like the overall it's going to be so much better for not only just the event as a whole, but just the player experience and uh, just the atmosphere will continue to be great. But yeah, obviously the downside is it's going to cost more. There's a little bit more of the effort that's going to be put into it. It's really like I won't say it's like a double-edged sword, but it's definitely got some pros that are gonna have a few cons that have to follow through with it. So it's one of those decisions though. It's like it has to be made at some point, and it's just unfortunate that it has to be made at the times they are. You know what I mean? I know at some point it's gonna end up happening with Big Dapple. Eventually it's gonna get to a
Mhm.
point where it's like, hey, there's so many of you that keep coming, and we love you guys, but we gotta get a new place. We gotta start now instead of just having the equipment there already. We're gonna have to start renting it out, so the cost is gonna go up. And it's really sucky to have to say to players too. You know what I mean? As I'm not a TO, but I could still like as someone who works in like retail, and I've had to tell so many people so many different things, especially with the knowledge I have in my current position. Like it's so hard to say certain things to people because it's like you want to give them the best answer possible, but the best answer is the one they want to hear the least. So it's really challenging, but at the end of the day, it is for the better of the community and for the better of the event. And long term, it's only gonna get better. It's just that first hill of getting over of taking that little bit of a punch that then just over time leads to a lot better of situations.
Yeah, and we take what the community says very seriously because we release a feedback form after every single event
Hmm.
because it's like, okay, like no, what did you like about this? Like
Yeah,
what can we change? What can we improve? Like what was really good about this? Like anything helps.
yeah.
And I feel like our feedback form from our community has really led to our legacy so far
Hmm.
because we ran our first three events in the esports lounge. However, within those first three events in the esports lounge, which we outgrew the esports lounge, Sea Battle 1.
Hmm.
Like we
Yeah.
outgrew that space so fast because it was like there was nowhere for people to stand. People had to like leave and come back. It was so loud and cramped and like but we got it done, right? Like
Yeah.
we got it done. It was so cramped and loud. But within those first three sea battles, we not only had commentators, like we started commentary for the first time, we got better lighting. Um we did started doing like other little like things with like interviewing around the venue. We started having like venue tours. Like we started adding more and more and more into those first three sea battles. And then finally, with approval from the venue, we were like, okay, we're going to take your feedback. Sea Battle 4, we are increasing our space.
Hmm.
And within Sea Battle 4, we had a really awesome commentator setup. It's my favorite commentator setup we've had by far. Like
Yeah.
on the couch, we had a really cool backdrop. We had plushies everywhere. It was very like comfortable. Not only that, but like our audio setup got a huge upgrade. We got like SLR headsets.
Hmm.
We got really nice microphones, like LTC Riptide level microphones for people to
Nice.
use. Um, which was really great. And like we had a good stream set up, and then Fusion got a projector, so we had like a projector area where you could watch the game like on a bigger screen and hear the commentators. We added another station and like had more space. And then Sea Battle 5, obviously, it was like our anniversary. We're
Yeah.
like, let's go big or go home. We'll do a bigger venue, da da da. But like all of that came from momentum on feedback forms
Yes. Yeah.
of like things we could change, like actionable things that we could change and improve upon.
Mhm.
And I think that is like what's so important is like, and I want to hit home is like when TOs plan these events, it's like we do take your feedback seriously. We do try to incorporate it as best as we can. And along with our feedback form, we tack on an FAQ.
Mhm.
So we will release an FAQ of being like, hey, the venue's really loud. Like, can we ask to turn the music down? It's like, hey, like there's actually things that we cannot control because it's like it is the venue's
Yeah.
space. Like, you know, so it's like we can't change the lighting, we can't turn down the music, we can't do this. However, we can do this. We can ask to do this. We can make this better. And so it's just nice because we give people context for things of like, why has this thing not changed
Yeah.
in 3C battles? And it's like, well, it's because it's out of our control and the venue controls how this is. Like,
Yeah.
we can't do that. Or, you know, like, why was C Battle Royale a lot more expensive than the normal C battles? It's like, well, we're instead of like how we like to work things at GameWorks, we're actually paying a lot more for this venue to have all of this space for this amount of time.
Yeah.
So we need to be charging more so that we can pay our venue back. And so it's nice having, I think people really appreciate the transparency of it.
Mhm.
And so that's why the feedback form and like the FAQ is really helpful, because then you're very open and honest with people, and people are a lot more understanding of like why we have to make these decisions and do things this way. And I'm really grateful for that. We have a very supportive community that's very understanding of that, and which is really nice. And so I hope other people have that experience as well.
Yeah, no, 100%. The feedback forms are so important. If you're watching and you go to locals frequently and you've never decided to fill those forms up before, take the couple seconds or minutes it takes to fill those out. It helps so much. It does tremendous work for the TOs and gives them the proper feedback they're looking for, whether it's positive or negative. And, you know, I love that what you said about transparency, right? That's something that you don't get a lot from like, you bigger events and bigger just overall I want to say parties,
Or it's
but
more complicated,
yeah,
right? It
yeah,
gets a
it's
little, it
more
gets to be a
complicated when
little
the
more
larger you get.
complicated.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but when it's on a smaller scale, you're able to produce a lot more knowledge, be able to talk a lot more about certain situations, and explain it a little more thoroughly than you would if it was like a much larger event.
Exactly.
All right. One of the last questions, Sapph, that I have for you before we look to close things out is what is next for you for the rest of this year? What do you have going on?
Um, wow. I'm gonna be taking a little break from broadcasting, commentary, and all that. I'm going to Europe
Oh,
in
lovely.
for the month of June. It's gonna be really exciting. So I'm gonna be doing some traveling for a little bit. In terms of like commentary, broadcasting, probably just my usual things. Might
Hmm.
do an SOS here and there, might play in a From the Ink Up. Actually, I've already tacked Falco down for the next From the Ink Up because I have a team name, a pickup name that I really want to run on the next From the Ink Up. And so he's like, after LCS, free as a bird, we can do that. And I was like, okay, great.
Nice.
So probably playing a pickup here and there. Obviously running Sea Battle. It's probably just kind of the same old, honestly. I don't really foresee anything too major on the horizon.
Hmm.
Unfortunately, because of my travels in Europe. Well, not unfortunately, it's a good thing I'm going to Europe, but
Yeah.
I can't make it to Galmo because of that. Get on my
Hmm.
level. I can't make it to MomoCon either because I fly out the weekend that MomoCon
Oh
is.
my gosh.
Yeah, so I can't make it to MomoCon either, but I'm rooting for both of those majors very deeply, in their success. But I will be at Riptide. I will be at
Nice.
Riptide. I'm sure you will be too.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I'll be at Riptide for sure. But yeah, I think really the next big event on my horizon is Riptide, and then
Nice.
obviously before then there will be another sea battle, although I will not reveal when just yet.
Yeah. Awesome. Fantastic. Sapph, I want to thank you so much for being here and coming on. This is the part of the podcast where I like to kind of pass over the mic and the floor is yours, right? This is for you to shout out who you want to shout out, say whatever you want to say, whether we talked about it or we didn't. Leave words of wisdom or not. Tell people to do things they shouldn't. Just kidding, don't do that. But yeah, the mic is yours. Feel free to take over.
Well, I'm not going far because I'm hosting Ludi tonight in exactly an hour. Uh, so you'll see me over on Splatoon Tourney in about an hour here. You'll see me on Splatoon Tourney 4 tomorrow. You'll also see me on like I'm just really busy on Splatoon Tourney. Splatoon Tourney kind of owns me tomorrow. And a little bit of today, but that's fine. Yeah, shout out Costco Shrimp Cocktail for showing up to every sea battle. You're the realist. Shout out Falco Flyer for doing this really cool thing and making people's dreams come true to get to work on other really cool Splatoon things. Shout out Cactus for having me here today and yapping. We've been yapping for almost 2 hours.
Yeah,
Cactus.
we
I hope
have.
that's okay.
Yeah, it's okay. Listen, as long as it's okay for you, because I know you got stuff you gotta do.
Yeah, no, that's totally okay. I'm glad that we could just organically kind of come to a closing point and chat. Shout out to the Sea Battle TOs, Fusion, Satan, and Takapa, the realest ones out there. I don't know what I would do without such an incredible team. To get to run to our local together, and shout out to Land Championship Showdown. This event is going to be so cool, you guys. I cannot wait to showcase everything for you tomorrow. It's going to be so fun. Yeah, I don't know. That's all I got. Don't find me. I'm on Blue Sky, but you don't need to find me. It's fine.
I was gonna say,
It's
do you want
good.
to do any self shoutouts? But don't find
No,
you. Got it. Got it.
no, don't find me. Don't find me. That's kind of my signature thing. Don't find me. If you must look, I'll be on Ludi tonight in an hour. I work on a boat. I'll be out in the islands this summer. I'll be in Europe. Um, Otherwise, just please don't look. Don't look here, please.
Absolutely. Yep. Once again, Sapph, thank you so much for being on. You have been wonderful and fantastic and gave so much great knowledge and information. Overall, it's just immaculate vibes. So truly, truly, thank you so much for being on. That's really all that I have as well. Obviously, tune in tomorrow, Land Championship Showdown on Splatoon Tourney. Splatoon Tourney 1, Splatoon Tourney 2, Splatoon Tourney 3, and I believe Splatoon Tourney 4 will all be live 4 p.m. PT, 7 p.m. ET Sunday. See the best of the best that the 8 locals, 8 states have to offer. And with that being said, that will do it from us here on the Cactus Patch. Thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.